welcome to another video brought to you by turbocamaro.ca. This is the inside of my 67 Camaro. You've seen it probably in lots of other videos. Recently, the tachometer install and gauge install video. I got the console back in there, which is great. Something happened through the course of cleaning this out. I had kept the car in a tent on the far side of the property, and you saw it in there when I did the engine bay paint video. Either way, once the engine was put back in, I decided to move the car back over here, of course, and the inside of it had, little cobwebs and spider webs and dirt, and just, I think the last time I'd used it, it had been raining or something like that. So I decided to, it needed to be cleaned out. So I used to detail cars semi-professionally, sort of on the side, and I have, dozens of products, polisher, all that sort of stuff. Was pretty good at it. People were coming from long and far to get their car detailed with me. However, I had an absolute lapse of mentality the day I decided to do this car. What I did is I noticed that the inside of the car had a sort of a mildewy kind of smell, and it's just because it had sat for a while, and it had just sort of hadn't been moved, and probably some dampness from the carpets and just condensation and whatnot. It kind of started settling in. I really just needed to clean it, but I thought, let's get smart here. I'm going to try to spray some things and see if I can rid of this mildewy smell. So what I did is the most cardinal detailing sin ever. I took a brand new product I'd never tried, a household product that should have been tested, in a concealed area before major use, just like it says on all bottles for everything, especially fabric type products. And I decided to just go crazy and just start spraying it on the carpet, thinking, oh, this will be good. I'll be able to, rid the carpet of any issues. Now, you can probably see right now what I'm talking about. It's not black anymore, as you can imagine. It's kind of got a red purpley color. Essentially what I've done is I bleached the carpet. It's not white like you'd think. Oh, I bleached it so it's white. No, it's more of like a purple, so purpley reddish burgundy kind of thing. So the issue I'm going to have here is I need to get it back to black. I can either buy new carpet, or I could take the carpet out and try to dip it and dye it that way. But unfortunately, there's no other real easy way, except I found one way. Just for interest sakes, if you want to know what I used Tilex, bathroom and tile scrubber. I don't know what I was doing when I did that. To this day, I don't understand. It was a couple weeks ago, and I'm not happy about it. So either way, I had to come up with a solution. It's just one of the stupidest things I've maybe ever done in my whole life, which doesn't sound like a major thing, but as far as car stuff goes, I'm usually extremely careful, and I don't make these kind of mistakes. However, I did, and maybe for your benefit, because in the end here, this sort of spot, the circle right before you there, I actually have sort of fixed that spot. Now, it's not perfect yet, but you can see it's certainly more black than the area around it, and even the area that's right here. You can actually see where I started to realize what I was doing and how bad it was, and I just sort of trailed it off there. So I started spraying here and then slowly worked my way back under this carpet, and came about to here, and then went, oh man, I could actually see how bad it was, and decided that I needed to stop. So what I'm going to do is use a different product on this. Here's the product here. It's Tulip Fabric Spray Paint, permanent fabric spray paint. It is a asphalt black, and I looked at all this stuff here. You can see it's, blah, 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 spray it, blah, 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 let it dry 4 hours. You can turn it inside out, you can wash it, you can dip it and dunk it, get it wet again, all that stuff, and it won't come off. Apparently, this product was bought at Walmart for $7. The whole bottle, I think, will do that area several times. So I'm going to try doing it right now, the whole area, and maybe have to do a second coat, and we'll see how it goes. So I figure I'll give you a quick look at how I actually go about doing this. I'm just going to shake the product here a little bit and give it a blast. Now, should be able to get an idea of how this is going to work. So, I mean, right away, it looks better. Now, it doesn't quite dry this black, unfortunately. I do want to avoid hitting other things. I don't really want to cake my existing upholstery with it. And at the same time, I don't want to get the center console and the seats and all this other stuff. So just do what you got to do and realize that you got to kind of do at least some masking. Now you can start to see it's still visible, but it is way better, right? Now I think generally it's just going to have to be saturated for it to be totally effective, and I think maybe even a couple coats. So I've just sort of recoated that existing area, and I'll just basically do the whole thing now exactly like that. All right, so this is immediately after spraying it. This is one coat sprayed. Now you can still see the carpet has sort of a little bit of a reddy, burgundy kind of a tinge to it, but only really, I mean, I've got the LED flash on for this camera, so it's really a bright light shining on it. So that right there is where the seat belt goes in. You can barely see there's the hole. And that around it obviously is where some of the affected area. So it's slightly tinged a different color, but for the most part, it's looking very black. Like if you pull away, you really can't tell like the difference between it and the unsprayed area. You have to really pay attention. So I think what's going to happen, I'll let it dry and I'll do a second coat and we'll see how it looks. So there is 2 coats dried for about 24 hours. And if you take a look at it, there is no way that you can tell that this carpet had ever been bleached by Tilex. Now I don't recommend you try bleaching your carpets with Tilex just to see if the product works, because I've done it for you and it works great. So if you have a reason other than bleaching your carpets that you need to do some kind of dyeing, I highly recommend this product at this point. Now, that being said, there's no way to say whether this is actually a durable product. I don't know if it says it's a paint and dye, so I suspect that it's permanently this color now. The carpet feels good. Like I've really given it some abuse, and nothing comes off. It seems pretty durable so far, so we'll have to see. But yeah, so if you have any questions about this, feel free to contact me on YouTube or turbocamaro.ca, as well as you can check us out on Twitter and Facebook. Thank you for watching.